soft goodbye. Squirrels dancing, leafy hush, gathering dreams in autumn's blush. Crisp breeze hums a lullaby, branches sway and clouds drift by. Every color sings its part, pain and peace across the heart. Wrapped in warmth beneath the moon. Acorns tumble, mossy ground, footsteps soft, no need for sound. Sunlight flickers through the trees, time slows down with every breeze. We are still, we are free, rooted deep in memory. We are light, we are air, autumn holds us everywhere. Soft and slow, firelight flickers, hearts aglow. You are calm, you are here, autumn holds you near.
Welcome, everybody, back to the war room. It is autumn. It is autumn.
It is autumn.
Cooler weather ahead. Autumn equinox tonight,
Needs
today.
hurry up and get here.
It needs to hurry up and get here. It's already here. Uh, yeah. So we had a, well, hold on, let me straighten that out. Well, I don't like that one. There we go. All right. So we had an amazing chat this morning. We uploaded that to Rumble. You can go check that out. Also, don't forget to click like and subscribe.
So we want to say happy belated birthday to Jack Love. Happy birthday, happy born day.
Happy born day to you. But a lot happening, right? So, you know, going throughout this process is pretty hard because we don't know what each one of us are going through, but we don't realize that some of us are really helping others along the way. So we really appreciate everyone that's unmuting, speaking up, helping others, sharing your stories, whether it be good or bad. Uh, you know, uh, it's amazing to see how all this is coming together and how God works through the people, right? And to do His will on earth as it is in heaven. Happy birthday, Jack Love. Yep, there we go.
Star Cloud.
I want to give a shout out to my mom. I love you. I think my mom's watching tonight, guys. So I got to be on my best behavior.
Love you.
So glad to have everybody here. We are. How was your day, Nadine?
Our day was good. I picked that goldenrod, and then Mrs. Sheepdog said it was okay to use that Kettle One that I've had for like 2 years. I got it when I had a toothache, so I poured it in there. I don't know what's gonna happen, but don't let me be a bad mom because it's gonna be Bud's born day on the 29th of this month. Please, I'm so bad with dates. I don't. So don't let me be a bad happy mom. And please remind me if I don't say anything. I guess we can just say happy born day today, right? What's a few days to Bud? Sheepdogs, are you there?
I thought I was unmuted.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can now.
We said happy born day, Bud.
He's
What?
trying to take my sock off. I put a really long sock on now.
Let's go ahead and get the show started. Let's start with. Oh, we got a special guest that may be coming on tonight as well. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not going to give up any names or anything right now. But we tried to get him on to start the show, but we were having issues with uploading and downloading videos, and especially big files. So, um, we might have to look into getting him a TikTok or a YouTube channel or something like that. TikTok, preferably, probably, right?
Well, not for
to
long.
upload his videos.
Not for long ones.
Oh, it won't do long ones. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Unless you go live.
Then you can do an hour.
hmm
Wow. Yeah. So we really appreciate him stepping up and making videos and
Yes.
sharing his heart and soul with the people throughout the process. So let's play a couple of clips right here real quick. Let's go to got a couple of minutes right.
Ancestry DNA, it was never about helping you find your family. They told you it was about reconnecting with your past. They told you it was about discovering your roots, your lineage, your history. They told you it was about finding long-lost relatives. They lied. Ancestry DNA was never about helping you find your family. It was about tracking bloodlines. It was about finding lost kings, rulers, and disruptors who once threatened the system. The ones who have returned in new bodies, new lifetimes, new identities. Because history is not linear, it loops. And the rulers of today, they know that their old enemies are being reborn, and they will do anything to stop them from waking up. They can trace every bloodline, every descendant, every possible return of an old ruler, an exiled king, or a lost revolutionary. And if someone is born with the wrong DNA, a genetic signature that once belonged to a threat to their system, they know immediately. And they can stop them before they wake up. Do you really think the elite care if you're 5% Viking or 10% Italian? No. For thousands of years, power has been passed down through family lines. Not because of wealth, not because of privilege, but because of something deeper. Because certain souls always return to the same genetic pools. The rulers of the past knew this. That's why they practiced inbreeding to ensure their own souls would return to their own dynasty. Kept extensive genealogy records so they would always know who belonged to which bloodline. Created secret societies that only accept specific families because they believe power reincarnates within their lineage. They have always been obsessed with tracking souls through DNA. And now with modern technology, they don't have to guess anymore. The real reason they launched mass DNA collection programs was to find and neutralize threats before they wake up. Look at what happened the moment DNA testing became popular. Intelligence agencies gained access to private DNA databases without consent. Genetic data was bought, sold, and cross-referenced against historical bloodlines. Ancient royal lineages, fallen empires, and revolutionary leaders were mapped to their modern descendants. They are searching for someone, or rather many someones. The ones who opposed the system before. The ones who once sat on thrones they were never meant to return to. The ones who have the power to remember and fight again. And if they find you in their system, they act before you do. They discredit certain people before they rise to power. They silence those who start remembering too much. They neutralize threats before they can shake the system again. Because if you wake up, if you remember who you were, if you realize why you are really here, the cycle ends, the throne is taken back, and their illusion of control collapses forever. The final question, who were you before? This is not a game. The war for control did not start in this lifetime. It has been happening for centuries, for ages, for cycles upon cycles of reincarnation. And now we are in the final phase. The system is collapsing, more people are waking up, and the ones in power are desperate to track, suppress, and erase those who were never meant to return. So ask yourself, why were you born in this time? Why does history feel familiar? Why do you feel drawn to certain places, symbols, or eras as if you lived them before? You might not just be a person searching for your past. You might be the past searching for itself. And the ones who rule now, they know who you are. The only question is, do you?
Do you know who you are? They know who you are.
Yep.
Simba.
Birth, right? We're just looking to see if you remember who you are.
Remember who you are. Wasn't that a Lion King thing?
Yes, it was.
You got that clip?
I'll
Yeah, we
find it.
got that clip.
Yeah, hold on.
So real quick, we'll go to share screen here. We're gonna upload a Rumble, share screen. You don't see that? Wait, let me add screen.
Okay. I
All
sent it
right.
to you.
So there's the Rumble,
Sent it to you.
which is this one. Right. So we go right here. We go to Rumble. Let's go right here. This is the content. Today we are doing, right now we're live doing Autumn Equinox 922. This morning we did the War Room chat, Autumn Equinox as well in the four corners. And the symbolism in native culture and even Egyptian would be the white, red, yellow, and black. Black would be from 1221 to 321, right? Dark winter. And then the light, spring. See the light, and then it goes into the red, and then the yellow. Four seasons with X, cardinal points. Those are all very important. And energy harvesting and our energy. Yeah, go ahead. Is that not showing?
It's just showing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
supposed to be showing right there. And we
Good.
also did the War Room, everything is energy. Covered some more information there. So tonight's show is just an extension of that, since we're still into the autumn equinox. But we're going to share some truth tonight that's probably going to rattle you a little bit, maybe not. Not too much, but different opinions, but to understand that, or understand that you're not the only one that sees the things you see and hears the things you hear, right? So we got Seb the Prepper channels talking about a false spiritual revival incoming. Don't be caught up in it. The other one is it's a repeat of, and this is kind of what I said the other day. We were talking about the plexiglass. They were like, man, they got plexiglass at the stadium. The first time ever they've had plexiglass in an indoor stadium for the president, right, so to speak. And I said, well, damn, that's the same thing they did during COVID. They were trying to, they put the plexiglass up to protect themselves from the invisible enemy, right?
Right.
right? The plexiglass. Everybody had to stand behind the glass, put a mask on, and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The whole plexiglass business boomed.
Something more to that.
So then here we see at the stadium the plexiglass is being brought in an indoor thing to add to the psychological operation taking place, right? Um, especially after the,
Maybe it does something with the frequency.
well, it's immense. Yeah. Well, it creates a world where we think that someone's always out to assassinate someone else, but if they're all not really happening, then you're really psychologically manipulating the people into being in fear of something that doesn't even exist, like the
Right.
invisible enemy. Like during COVID, the same op that was taken up, that was done on the people mentally, right, to get them to do things that they normally wouldn't do without even thinking critically about it, even when they were faced with the information online, or even YouTube, or Rumble, X, or True Social, or whatever. Everybody was talking about it. Fast forward 4 or 5 years, and it's almost like we have there has been such an op where people forgot what took place 4 years ago, right? So they're not even seeing the same. They're not even putting two and two together, and realizing that the same thing is taking place when the same people that did that is also doing this. This is the final battle. This is for the mind and soul of our country, right? Individually as well.
Mostly in your mind. Right.
Um, so I wanted to play this, a repeat of COVID-19. Just the manipulation is going on again with the Kirk assassination. Do not get wrapped up, right? Now, this is just his opinion. This is his Channel 7 Trumpets prepper, right? So I think we shared this channel before.
Yeah.
But to hear a better explanation coming from others, without all the, you know, stuff that you're seeing online, all of a sudden all these different news scenes of the, it's kind of, it takes me back to the JFK assassination and how well they constantly played over and over the same videos, talking about the same angles with the same uh, things. It's in the gutter. It was in the shooter was in the gutter. The shooter was in the library. The shooter was over here or there. But so same situations, same deals taking place. But like we said, the youth is waking up
Oh, yeah.
to that fact. And we're going to play this, and then we're going to go into who profits from it, right? We're only going to play a few minutes of this. We played this morning, so if you've already seen it this morning, you're going to see it again. But if you haven't, here it is right here. But we're going to play this real quick.
Sheepdogs, you were okay.
Take you straight there. It's free. except for the viewer-supported Hard Truth Show. That's the only thing that's pretty much paid over there other than events and giveaways. So long and short of it, for those that have been alive, and especially in the past 5 years, I just want you to take note that what went on, the mind manipulation that went on during CV-19 is going on right now on the tail end of the Kirk incident. I'm just going to call it the Kirk incident, because as more and more facts and more evidence comes out, it is becoming apparent something is not right about this situation. And I'm going to make a whole stream about that. That's going to be on the Hard Truth Show that's coming up on this month in October after Day of Atonement. If you want to see that, I'll have a whole stream going on about that. That'll be the first official stream over on Patreon for the Hard Truth Show, because it'll be all the previous, you can see it over here now on YouTube, but all the ones moving forward will be over there on Patreon. But if you lived during CV-19, I remember when we were told that the pandemic was of the unjabbed. I'll just say that. And if you want to pull up the video, you see your wonderful President Biden saying that about people like me that refuse to bend the knee. Okay. So, you have that, right? And then long and short of it, you move forward. And now anybody that questions narratives, they're a conspiracy theorist, or especially in this hour of right now that's going on, as I just did a video too about how that there's going to be a great false revival going on right now, and so many other things that just people are just being blindsided yet again. And what's stupid and so terrible is it always takes far on the back end for people to look back and be like, oh yeah, that was right. And I'll give you a clear example of this. So the CDC just shared, and I think I can, on CapCut, I can share this in while I'm talking. If not, I'll put a link to it in the video description below. I'm still learning the new software that I'm using over on Patreon, CapCut. Great stuff. Really love it for video editing, because I'm an electrician, on a video editor, so just bear with me. But anyway, it said in the article pretty much, and all the information, whatever, that now they've decided that for you to take the JAB, it is should be a personal decision, and that, it's not like a recommended thing that you have to go through or whatever anymore. This is coming literally from the panel at the CDC. And I'm just like, man, ain't that something? Where was that thought process? I don't know, like 2019 to 2023. I mean, depending on where you were on this flat geostationary flat earth under a firmament dome with waters above and waters below, as scripture describes in the book of Amos, literally says that there's a firmament above. I mean, that's in the scripts, right? Especially if you read the New American Standard Version. And, where was that mentality at? Because if you were in 1984 Orwell's Australia, you were sent to internment camps. And if you were here in America, you were the scum of the earth and the actual plague, because you didn't go along with everybody else. So if you decided to be the 27%, let's see, 73, 73% of us decided to participate, 72 point something, I believe is what the statistics said. So if you decided to be the 27 point something percent, the minority that didn't want to participate in it, then you were the bad guy. And I say all this not out of pettiness. I say all this is I want you to see a recent thing that took place and understand that the following thing is taking place again. So it's fresh. So unless you've been given over strong delusion like 2 Thessalonians and a reprobate mind has just been downloaded into you, then at this point, I would think that it would be a reasonable assertion to think that you, the viewer that's watching this, or you conveying this to people that you know because you're in the know, would wake up and be like, man, there is something seriously wrong here. Like, why is there so many questionable things with this narrative? And honestly, I seen just a bit of that memorial the other day for Kirk, and it was bothersome to me. Like, I felt like I was like watching Monday night WWF, and I hate to say the pagan days of the week, but I really just need to convey this. Father, please forgive me for even saying that, because I just try not to say pagan days of the week anymore, because they're named after false deities. And once again, Father, please forgive my sins. But Like I felt like I was watching Raw, like WWF Raw at the first of the week. Like there was like fireworks display, you know, like the spray coming up before people walked out. And I mean, literally you just needed like The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out there and just, it was weird. And I don't mean to be irreverent. You know, I've been to memorials for people, celebrations of life. It was very sobering. It was very different. You know, my father passed away just a little over a year ago, and like I didn't take pictures of myself reaching over, saying goodbye to him in his casket. I kissed him on the forehead, and you know, I kissed him goodbye before they took him away. You know, I helped the hospice clean him up. Those things don't go through my, you know, like having a videography of that or taking pictures. It's not going through my mind when I'm saying goodbye to one of the most precious people to me in my entire life on their end of their journey. It's just weird, man. It's just freaking weird. And the whole past couple weeks has just been weird. Honest to goodness, it's like, I don't know how to express it, but for those that have been born like in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, even early 90s, to watch these past 20 years, things have just went from like weird to really weird to what the flip. And this right now is the weirdest weirdness is going on right now because you see narratives be told. And then those that are in authority change that narrative. And then as that adapts, then the narrative adapts again. And we've seen this with CV19. You know, it was this, and then it was put on a mask, and well, then the mask don't really work. And then blah, 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 blah. And then, well, blah, blah, blah. And then in the end, it's like, you know, forget it. Just don't worry about it. You don't have to participate. It's like, and now, years later, it's like, well, we really don't even recommend that you have to do this. It's like, ain't that astonishing? Because the last I seen the Gestapo out here on the street and the Nazi SS was telling me otherwise, and that I couldn't go out in public and stand your hind end 6 feet away from everybody. You know, and this whole false revival, if you didn't see the video, go over and check it out on Patreon. Links below. It's free to watch. You can see it on YouTube here unless they pull it down. I talked about that, and you know, the whole situation is doing a same run through as I seen with CV19, and it's the first time I really can be like litmus test and get an air temp feel that that's exactly what's going on. And while the things that went on with CV19, so many laws and changes and things that went on around the world during that time, as I pointed out already, you know, during that week and a couple weeks, you know, the same day that this went down, I mean, you had the Epstein vote, you had all these things that me and Brother Tim talked about the other night on the first Bonafide Truth show that aired on my Patreon. You know, me and Tim's partnered up to do that show weekly now too. We discussed that the other day with so many other things, and I thought it was a fire conversation. I love Tim to death, and so grateful to have him in my life and friend. And it's weird to me though that every time this stuff goes down, like massive laws and changes and instances take place, and I don't know what it's going to take to wake people up. I honestly believe that the coming of Messiah, they will still be this return recycled mindset that just goes on with people, and it's getting harder and harder for me to like integrate into society because everyone just seems to be asleep at the wheel. And I don't mean I know it all. I'm not saying that at all. But you look back and people come to you now and they're like, man, I'm sorry about that. I was wrong about it. I don't care. I don't care. Whether you apologize, you don't apologize, you forgive me, you don't forgive me, it's not going to change. Luke is going to do what I'm going to do. Like there is people today, no matter how much you try to rehabilitate them, they are a career criminal. Like if somebody was a rapist out here, I'm just going to take an extreme. If somebody is a rapist and a murderer, when you let them out again, guess what? They are going to be a rapist and murderer again. Okay? Most often. That's just the stamp cookie cutter they're going to go right back to, right? I am going to serve Most High Yah. I have stood on the same principles ever since that I come out of Babylon, and have continued to learn the truth and try to apply it to life, to my life. It is not going to change at the end. If tomorrow everyone said, hey, we're going to have this mass revival and JC is the way, the truth, and life, I'm going to remind them Yahushua is the way, the truth, and life. And no man come to the Father except by him. The JC guy from Rome, don't know him, bro. And remember, until the 1600s, it was an I. So that spelt out the beginning of his name. And that's facts, and that's on the history books. And it's also in the 1611 original print. So, and I don't want to misquote that. I believe, the copy I have, the 1611 original copy, it's early 1600s. I believe the original 1600 copy reprint I have actually has it as IESUS in there too. So, I digress. This, though, needs to be taken account. Like I told people, take note of those that participated during the time of 2019 to 2024, 23, 24, right? Take note of those people. Now, I'm going to tell you, I do a 2-strike rule. Forget the third. I do a 2-strike rule, people. You watch very carefully the people that participate and get wrapped up in this that's going on right now. Because I assure you, as sure as the sun is going to rise in the east here tomorrow and set in the west, and there won't be no rapture because people saying tomorrow's the rapture. Oh, goodness. That I got to get into it another time. But in the wake of all this going on, just as sure as the sun will rise and set tomorrow, just keep this in mind, that those that get wrapped up in this narrative now, and they get that patriotic zeal, and they get that revival feel in them, many of them are going to go down for anything that comes forward to this. The Great Deceptions, Project Bluebeam, Alien Invasion, which is demons, whole 9 yards, folks. You just go ahead and lay out a buffet of your thoughts, your bingo card, lay it out, and go ahead and just stamp every one of them for all the people that give into these two, because it's going to be right down the line. They'll follow the rest of it right down the line. And I hate to say that. I know that seems very brutal and unkind, but I am trying my best to shoot straight with you guys. I have spoken parables for now 14 years. I think I've had to speak pretty much in parables on YouTube 14 years, and I'm just letting it all ride now. Like this is, if you've ever wanted to meet the real version of Lucas Cameron, if you've ever wanted to meet the real, genuine, 110% version of Seven Trumpets Prepper, this is the guy. Ask my wife, ask my friends, ask those that's close to me, ask people that's met me in person. I am shooting straight with you today from the, Feast of Trumpets forward. You just go ahead and count any content you ever see, buddy. That is 100% on target at that point. I am not letting loose. So, guys, just know this. We are in weird times. And what we've seen during CV-19 is replaying in the wake of the Kirk incident. And you need to be mindful of people and mark them, their behavior, because I'm going to tell you in the years ahead, these are the very people that's going to be a danger to you and your well-being. Because whatever the establishment, whatever the New World Order, whatever religion, whatever the government says, they're going to follow it hook, line, and sinker. And it doesn't matter if you have DNA markers that's the same in your family. It doesn't matter if you're buddies. It doesn't matter if you're lovers. It doesn't matter if you're co-workers. You're toast. So you better watch these people. And you've been given 2 opportunities now to see people for who they really are in their core. So be careful. And guys, as always, till we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prepper channel, hope the Most High y'all Baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. In Yahushua name.
Right. So it'll be the ones that interrupt that illusion or challenge that illusion is the one that's going to be labeled a TERROISTS. Right. But that's why it's so important to not be tuned in to the
Are you muted?
media.
No.
Say again. Check. Hold on. Check, check, check. Check, check. Oh, I don't know. Huh. Oh, let me go to 1 second.
5 by 5, they said.
Okay, you can hear me.
Yes.
All right, I was tripping. Damn it. There we go. Let me get everything back going. All right, so we see why it's important, and we're hearing it from you're not just hearing it from us, you're hearing it from other uh, people, right? And that are putting their pretty much everything on the line by even speaking, right? Just putting, because you put yourself in a very low category, like you said, to less than us. That's why they call the 3%ers only 3%ers, right? It's not many. Right. So same thing with Gideon, only 300. So there's only so many, but we're scattered, which is good. So, but we all are connecting and seeing things and able to communicate that throughout the world, right? So, right. So what else did he say? The masks are coming off, is what he said. Okay, the masks are coming off.
That Facebook one.
So when they show you who they are, believe them, take note, and stay clear.
Right.
For someone that's this wants to keep their head buried in the sand and is still controlled by the mainstream media. Okay, that's a you still love them, but just be mindful. All right, next one is
The Facebook one.
yeah, it's gonna be oh yeah, let's do that one. This one right here. Here we go. Next up. Oh, oh, for some reason it is. There we go. Let's bring that over here. All right. Let me unmute. Restart. And here we go. We're gonna get this added to the screen real quick. Let me add Nadine. Here we go. Here we go, Nadine.
Yeah,
Buckle up.
been on her side. Yeah.
At almost 80,000 people. They chose the memorial today on purpose. You hear me? On purpose. Do not let anybody tell you it was a coincidence that almost 80,000 people packed the stadium on the exact day of a solar eclipse, a new moon, and Saturn at opposition. That's not random. That's staging. That's choreography. And it wasn't for you. It was for them. And here is the ugly truth. Crowds are batteries. When tens of thousands cry, chant, and sway together, you create a current. Science calls it collective effervescence. Spirit folks call it energy harvesting. I call it what I see it, stealing your grief and cashing it in. And this playbook isn't new. The Romans did it in the Colosseum, blood and bread to distract the people while the empire pulled strings behind the curtain. Televangelists do it every single Sunday, whipping a congregation into tears, then passing the plate at the peak. Even Hollywood showed you the metaphor in The Matrix. Humans strapped in as living batteries, feeding a machine that doesn't give a damn about them. Fiction? Sure, but it makes the point plain. Your energy can be drained and redirected. That's exactly what happened today. A memorial dressed up as a spectacle, tears turned into chants, destiny slipped into the mic right as the eclipse hit. While you were raw from loss, they funneled that energy straight into their machine. Donations, pledges, loyalty. The eclipse, that was the amplifier. Tie a man's death to the heavens, and suddenly it's not just a loss, it's prophecy. And if you question it, you're told you're dishonoring the dead. And that's the trick. Grief turned sacred, sacred turned untouchable, untouchable turned useful. And here is the kicker. It worked. People walked out of there buzzing, ready to give, ready to fight, ready to defend a story somebody else scripted for them. That charge didn't fade when the lights cut off. It got banked. It'll be spent later on whatever agenda they load into it. This was not comfort. It wasn't closure. It was control. They harvested 80,000 beaten hearts today and called it a memorial. So don't get played. Don't call it holy when it was a hustle. They chose that day on purpose. They chose that stadium on purpose. They used that eclipse on purpose. And unless you start naming it, they'll keep doing it. Because listen, harvesting your pain has always been the oldest con in the book. Stay awake, stay loud, and do not let them farm you like cattle.
State Farm, right?
Right.
That's where it was at.
Exactly. And I posted on the Telegram that in 2019 they switched to 5G, right? In 2023 they switched the stadiums to smart stadiums. So what do you think the G's on now? It's much higher.
Trump said smart people like him.
So where do they harness
don't
the
like him.
energy in stadiums?
Right. Major.
Major. Who's that guy with the
88 suites in the stadium.
guy with the tear on his eye? Below his eye? She played this morning. Yeah.
All right, let me play the next one. A little 15-minute clip here. It's going to be who profits, right? For the S. Let's go down this rabbit hole real quick. And to screen. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. We're going to do a little 15 minutes right here.
Aloha. You know, I've been meaning to make a video, but, you know, we have evolving information on what is the big story in America, and certainly making global news as well, as the open and notorious assassination of Charlie Kirk. And this video is going to get into who was Charlie Kirk, what was he doing, what was his purpose, why was he killed, who did it. And one thing we can say for sure, as per usual, just like they did on 9/11, the FBI is having a laugh, mate. You must be joking. And it is an insult to the American public, and really to anybody who has any consideration about what's happening or the truth. The FBI is lying. Not a surprise, really, given what the Trump administration and others of his ilk call the deep state. The deep state inhabits every aspect of American society. So I'm going to get into all the things that I see as being relevant. And also, I want to say that if you like this content, please like and subscribe, share, and join my Patreon or become a subscriber on X. And I also have new content coming out on YouTube as well. So much appreciated. And, well, let's do it. You know, the first thing I have to say, and really not even so much as somebody who cares about Palestine, has lived there and experienced and seen, but just as a human being, the way that we carry on this perverse inequality of the way we value life is just stunning, absolutely stunning. I grant you that, yes, any person's life is relevant and important, especially to family members, but an entire nation is enamored with the loss of one life, and yet these very same people are funding a genocide which is indisputable, which employs tactics such as the burying and burning of people alive, mass rape, detention, dehumanization on a multitude of levels, special weapons and grotesque injuries, amputations without anesthetics, and mass starvation to boot, in the same line as the Hunger Games. It is that disgusting. And I still can see right now the people of America happily funding this genocide, totally oblivious to the spiritual cost of such behavior, and going off to Walmart and shopping while the people in Gaza are literally starving. And I am in touch with my family, who I have known for almost 20 years now and have maintained contact with. So, yes, it is personal to me. But even if it wasn't something so personal to me, where is the humanity? First things first, cui bono. For those that don't know what that means, it's who benefits. This should be the first question asked when, aside from sealing off the scene of the crime, which was not done in this job either, who would benefit from this? Now, the obvious to that, for those who are astute and paying any attention or who care about the fate of America or indeed the world, would know this. But let me point out the fact that one of the convenient facts of this assassination is the timing, the date. Because one thing is for sure, while we're still waiting for the actually unredacted JFK files to be released, while we're still waiting for the Epstein files, which I guess the head of the FBI says, yeah, there's nothing, there's nothing to see here. So while we have these things going on, we also have, despite the best efforts to keep Americans dumbed down in idiocracy reality. For those who haven't seen the movie, watch Idiocracy. Brilliant. It happened on September 10th. Why might that be useful? Well, I remember actually on September 10th, 2001. So this is pre 9/11. Think of that. For those of you who are too young, the millennials who were watching Charlie Kirk, there was a date, September 10th, and 2011. And you know what happened then? Well, there was a press conference at the Pentagon, and a man named Donald Rumsfeld.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Announced that $2.3 trillion.
So, which would be in line with the 23, right? Like 2030, take the zeros off, you had the 23. All right, anyways, let me continue. But yeah, this is $2.3 trillion went missing the day before.
Had been.
And guess what nobody talked about on September 10th? We didn't rehash that like we normally would, right? When we go back and revisit the 9/11 narrative. The truthers pretty much bring up the 2 points. So that attention was, again, just pulled from remember 9/11, right? For 24 years now. This was a whole different 9/11, right? On a whole nother level, except with minus the thousands of people that had perished that day. So.
Yes.
But it's had the same impact as it had as JFK's assassination when MLK was shot on the balcony. John Lennon, Ronald Reagan, Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, et cetera, et cetera. The same nobody that did that is the same nobody that's doing this.
Lost within the military Pentagon budget, $2.3 trillion. Now that's a big story. That's a big story. I mean, a lot of Americans probably be talking about that. Hey, oh, but then the next day was this thing called 9/11. Oh, it's like a shell game. You know the shell game. You put the ball under a shell, and the guy who either wants to take your money or is entertaining you is going to move the shells, and you're sure you know where it is, but it ain't there. Literally, it's a shell game. Here's something we're seeing. Here's something that will win you understanding and knowledge, that will empower the American public, but no, you won't see it. It's a shell game. The timing cannot be ignored. An absolutely essential skill that one must develop if you truly want to understand this world. And it's maybe not intuitive. It's something that, with research and critical thinking and, historical references, the bottom line is so much of what you may read or learn, it won't make sense to you. You won't understand what's behind it. And the reason why is because if you think from a human perspective, as a healthy man or woman, you wouldn't be able to contemplate somebody actually feeling joy, perhaps, out of raping a child. Can you imagine that? I mean, ask yourself, can you imagine seeing the pain on that child's face and the cries for his mom or her mom and feeling joy over that? Well, this is exactly what you need to do to understand the world we live in, because indeed there is a tribe of sociopathic, psychopathic, satanic, sadistic elements. They have an extraordinary amount of power, and they enjoy things that any healthy human being would be repulsed by. So unless you can understand the world that way and put yourself in the position of your opponent, you're not going to be able to understand what motivates them. So I encourage everyone to get into that mindset. And it's not really a comfortable place to go. You're really going to have to go to some uncomfortable places to do this. But I can promise you, if you develop this skill, this ability, then it will become so much clearer to you as to why the world works the way it does. Absolutely essential skill if you want to know the truth. And once we've entered into the best possible understanding of what a sociopath is, well, let's look at a specific group, which is 0.2% of the human population. Of 8 billion, they are 0.2%. They have an extraordinary level of power. Disproportionate would be a ridiculous word to describe the amount of power they have for the 0.2% that they are. This particular group has been booted out of over 1,000 territories in 110 countries, and all of this is over the last 2 millennia plus. So, anyone who would suggest that there is a modern word such as Zionism that would explain this problem, you're failing to understand that Zionism has been around for about 200 of those 2 millennia, 2,000 years. So what was the problem before Zionism? That's an important question. And if you haven't answered that and you're simply saying it's a Zionist problem, you're being manipulated. You are being manipulated once again. There are many reasons why this particular tribe has been booted, but I will make the case here, and I've certainly made it over the decades, as to who they are, what they represent, and why you should care. One of the important points about this disproportionate amount of power is that this 0.2% of the human population, well, it owns your media. It owns your politicians. It owns Hollywood. And it also happens to own most of the real estate businesses, and it certainly owns the banks. And when you get down to the debt of America, which is now in the hundreds of, or it's 34, 35 trillion, whatever, it's some ridiculous unpayable figure. They run that. They run that.
So to bring that up, if we open the Bible up to Deuteronomy chapter 15, it talks about forgiveness of debt every 7 years for the individual, right? That's even in our prayers. Forgive our trespasses, forgive our debts. Right. So we forgive those every 7 years. That hasn't happened. It's every 70 years for a nation that's a jubilee, all debt. But what they've been doing is stacking and stacking and stacking, going totally against the scriptures and what
Yes.
the law that was laid out for. Right. So that's why we're 40 million gazillion bajillion quadrillion dollars in debt. It's just a thing to make you feel like you're in debt to them, so that they keep harvesting your energy to pay it. Something that can never be paid. Deuteronomy chapter 15.
So they are able to manipulate and dumb down large populations of people, not just in America, but especially in America. I mean, America's a special kind of stupid. Like sheep being led to the slaughter, they've been dumbed down, and they don't recognize that there are important players in social media, influencers, and a lot of fake, unknown, yet loved characters that play a role in their big play to create the illusion which maintains their system, leading us to self-destruction. Now, Charlie Kirk played a very important role. And make no mistake about it, he was indeed financed, coddled, and brainwashed into the perspective that allowed him to state with a certain clarity that only somebody that's thoroughly brainwashed could possibly do, not understanding the obvious hypocrisy, duality, and ridiculousness of taking Jesus as an example of what is meaningful, virtuous, and indeed Christian, and translating it to the words that were stated. This made him very useful to that tribe. Very useful. And with an audience of 30 million, well, hey, you know, you want to keep this guy on side. So he was definitely good to go in the eyes of the devil. But you deal with the devil, expect the horns. Do you really think that the devil, after you're surplus to requirements, or even become a bit of a liability, say like maybe Charlie Kirk, do you think the devil's going to take care of you? Never mind what's going to happen to your eternal soul. No, the devil is not going to be loving you and taking care of you. The moment that you're no longer useful, you do indeed become surplus to requirements. And indeed, that was what Charlie Kirk was. Before he got to that stage, it was public awareness. It was the raising consciousness of humanity that was forcing the mind control indoctrination to confront reality. And these two things were hitting each other full force. And really, when you do see the truth for what it is, and then you also have the critical thinking, non-brainwashed ability to see the lies, the illusions for what they are, there is no middle ground. There is no gray area. Much of his audience was figuring this out. Let's keep in mind his audience is largely Gen Z. So they're the younger generation. They're the TikTok generation before TikTok was taken over by this particular tribe as well. And they have. Before that, the videos that were showing the truth while the totally controlled media was lying to you, excusing Israel has a right to defend itself.
Israel has a right to defend itself.
Israel has the right to defend itself.
Blah, blah, blah. Social media, Chinese, ironically, was allowing the young ones to see, and actually the young ones were having to teach us old dumbasses, hey, like, this is not cool over here. I know you guys have said, you know, best ally and da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. I'm not squaring this whole slaughter of a mass of people with somehow this making America great again. So this is what Charlie was experiencing, and he made a few tactical errors, which resulted in, quite frankly, his very quick ending, at least in this mortal life. But the bottom line is, make no mistake about it. When you think you have no power, this is not true at all. They rely on your ignorance. They do. And the only reason why I would argue, because if Charlie just kept getting loved with no pushback, real pushback, would he have stopped being a fake Christian, you know, a Schofield Bible type Christian? I don't think so. I think the money and the comfort would have allowed him to carry on, business as usual, feeling good, getting this ridiculous love, and totally, completely oblivious to the hypocrisy and the unchristian aspects of virtually everything he was saying. But it was your consciousness. Those of you watching this right now, those of you who I'm not reaching, and the algorithms aren't going to favor me, so I'm not going to reach 30 million like Charlie. The bottom line is this: if you think you're irrelevant, the devil's already won. He's already fooled you. You do matter. And if all of us, or enough of us goyim, the 99.8% of the planet, figure this crap out, amen, we can affect a better world. So it was the rising consciousness that is what made the difference in Charlie's evolution and ultimately resulted in his death.
raising consciousness. People were asking questions. His audience was asking questions, therefore it had him asking questions, and that interfered with the money, right? The contract. There's stipulations to it, and there's only one way out. You cross that line, and he collects. All right.
Sure does.
Oh, you got it. There's cheating on the screen there.
Yeah, hi, Cheetah.
Hello. Am I on?
Yeah, yeah, sheepdogs. Are you
Oh, I'm
speaking?
on. I'm on. Just a little delay.
Oh, I'm muted.
I,
Sorry.
I,
Yeah,
I,
you're good.
I made it.
Yay.
It's like, you know how you get to the big leagues? Well, I'm the big dogs, the DAWG, the big dogs.
There you go. There he
There
is.
you go. Hey, so
Hey,
you guys, Miss Sheepdog, are you able to play that video?
I just
let me pull it
downloaded.
up.
As you do that, I'll explain that real quick. I did an 8 GB video one day when I got home from the lake, and I had to get it off my. See, let me mute that. I had to get things out. I didn't know I was gonna want to play it here, but I was just gonna record it, you know. And there's a few things about Soros and Gates that I mixed up, and then I have to clear my conscience a little bit up on something. Hi, Mickey. That's good. I had to clear my conscience on a few things about thumbs up, subscribe, and said it's bullshit, blah blah blah. Because I know people, and I covered it up there a little bit, but I know people monetize and make money doing this stuff, and I it's great, you know. So I didn't want to. Every time we say thumbs up for the dogs, you know, I do that all the time. So there's just a few things I wanted to clear up. I was tired. I probably had 4 hours sleep and 19 hours out, you know. So it's good to see everybody or have everybody here, and it's my first time on a show. I wanted to go on the Truth Seekers with Mike and talk to him and stuff. I never had the chance. I can't read chat because I don't want to touch nothing because I'll mess it up. And we got to give the sheepdogs credit too, because I was messing around with them for the first time for a little bit, trying to get going on StreamYard. And man, oh man, you guys got to give them credit to put a show together, because that stuff's not easy, man. You know.
Yeah, just getting somebody in the back door is kind of a, can be a task. But give everybody give cheating a shout out in the chat. Thank you for having the courage to come on with the dogs.
Yes. I'm so glad you
So,
made it.
so there's the video. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you guys already know. So it's not really derogatory to the family, to the tribe. It's not. It's probably should go out there to people who need to learn a few things, you know. But it's kind of cool. That's why I say it's a dark atmosphere. Is at nighttime, and you know, get your slippers ready and let me know when you guys want me to uh to play it. And then I'm gonna turn my camera off during this because I don't want to be looked at for an hour and 18 minutes if I can't talk. You know. So
So this
go ahead.
so you want to set this video up? We're about to play cheating. You just want to just play it, just let it play out.
Oh yeah, I already said my thing. I already said my thing. You know, don't hold anything against me. It's all cool. Relax. It's like I just feel it's a little intimate. You know what I mean? So when you play it, just go ahead and kick me out. Is that cool?
You want me to kick you out?
You can sit in the
Or
screen.
turn my yeah, because I mean, yeah, but turn my camera off because I don't know if you guys can hear me talking, or I'm new to this, so I don't know if you'd hear me talking or the dog starts barking. You know what I mean? I don't know how to mute myself or do whatever. So here, let
I'll
me do
mute.
this.
Yeah, he can mute it for you.
There we go. I'll just mute you whenever we get ready. All right, we're ready.
How do you turn my camera off?
Let's see how loud this gets.
Let's see. I went to
Yeah, can you guys hear it?
How's the volume?
yeah, I got my audio up on the TV about. I'll put it on 100%. I'm not hearing it.
Oh, let me check.
Yeah, can you guys hear it?
Share.
Yeah, he's working on it. Hold on.
Tab. Boom. Audio. Go. Add to screen.
Yeah, I got audio up on the TV about. I'll put it on 100%. I'm not hearing it.
Oh, let me
Yeah, guys hear it? Yeah.
no share. Okay.
We went through this about for 30 minutes earlier.
Here we go. Share screen. Let's try the MP4 again. Share that. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right.
They call it a Hemi. It's actually just hemispheric. It's just the way the valves are on the top. Most of them are Hemis. It's just a name. My favorite's an 8V92. The volume, the sound's working. You just need to go to the beginning. Those are two-stroke motors, and of course, those are illegal now because of carbon footprint. You know, we need carbon. Trees need carbon. Plants need carbon. It's all just a damn gimmick. But yeah, so GM, you know, it's like I don't know what his name is, like Stellantis or whatever. It's like, hey GM, if you ever need a good CEO, you know what I mean? You don't have to pay me, you know, millions of dollars, 34, $40 million. You know, I'll do that shit for $1 million a year. You know what I mean? Or even less. Damn, at this point, I'll do it for free. You don't need AFM, DFM, you know, automatic fuel management. You don't need the starters going off and on. It just destroys an engine. You don't need sensors to shift a vehicle. You know what I mean? You put the shit in drive and you put the shit in park. People are getting killed over these vehicles and accidents happening, and you know what I mean? So it's like people don't mind paying $30,000, $40,000 for a decent truck. You know, ones that don't like lock you out, or the tailgate won't open because the button doesn't work. You know, you can build a decent, like, just for instance, the one I had was a 2003 Toyota Tundra 4-wheel drive, black. It was bitch, and I didn't do nothing to that thing for 13 years, 216,000 miles. I think I only did 3 batteries. That thing, you know, Toyota actually spent $1 billion, not on the motors and the transmissions. They spent billions of dollars on research to make the damn thing. You know, so basically $1 billion on a blueprint. And then they made that shit. And so I know the O3 was good. I think the O3 was the iForce 4.7 motor, and then they went into the
You're muted.
Did you say started from the beginning, Judy? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
because it will make more sense if I start
Oh,
from the
okay.
beginning.
All right. Here we go.
Sorry, y'all.
What's up, you beautiful souls? If you even know what that means. I went to the lake today and caught some fish. Pretty damn fun. I'm really tired, but I want to do this video. So I was in the garage getting things together for work tomorrow, and I was listening to GM. You know how people on YouTube talk crap about all the motors being recalled, and that goes along with Toyota too. Hang tight, this is gonna get good. And it's like they can't even build a V8 today because of the regulations and all the EPA and smog, and this is sad, you know what I mean? Because V8s are bitchin'. They call it a Hemi. It's actually just hemispheric. It's just the way the valves are on the top. Most of them are Hemis. It's just a name. My favorite's an 8V92 Allison Detroit that I used to work on when I was 14. Those are two-stroke motors, and of course, those are illegal now because of carbon footprint. You know, we need carbon. Trees need carbon. Plants need carbon. It's all just a damn gimmick. But yeah, so GM, you know, it's like, I don't know, his name is like Stellantis or whatever. It's like, hey GM, if you ever need a good CEO, you know what I mean? You don't have to pay me, you know, millions of dollars, $40 million. You know, I'll do that shit for $1 million a year. You know what I mean? Or even less. Damn, at this point, I'll do it for free. You don't need AFM, DFM, you know, automatic fuel management. You don't need the starters going off and on. It just destroys an engine. You don't need sensors to shift a vehicle. You know what I mean? You put the shit in drive and you put the shit in park. People are getting killed over these vehicles and accidents happening, and you know what I mean? So it's like people don't mind paying $30,000-$40,000 for a decent truck. You know, ones that don't like lock you out, or the tailgate won't open because the button doesn't work. You know, you can build a decent, like, just for instance, the one I had was a 2003 Toyota Tundra 4-wheel drive, black. It was bitch, and I didn't do nothing to that thing for 13 years, 216,000 miles. I think I only did 3 batteries. That thing, you know, Toyota actually spent $1 billion not on the motors and the transmissions. They spent billions of dollars on research to make the damn thing. You know, so basically $1 billion on a blueprint. And then they made that shit. And so I know the 03 was good. I think the 01, 03 was the iForce 4.7 motor. And then they went into the 2007. They had the 5.7 liter. They made different ones, but the 5.7 was good. People bagged on those trucks. But you know what? It was dependable. They're still running today. Actually, my next truck's going to be probably 2014, 2017, maybe a 21, because those are the last years that were reliable and dependable. And it really doesn't matter, you know, what you pay for one like that. I mean, it's going to be pretty reasonable. Your interest rate's going to kick you in the ass, because we'll get into that shit late in a minute here too. Oh, it's going to get good. We're not monetizing. You don't have to click like. You don't have to click subscribe. You don't have to do all that stupid crap. Everybody's just out there doing stuff like that, which is fine. More power to them, man. If you can make money doing videos, that's awesome. That's what you should be doing, because, I mean, that might be a profession. Because we were made to have a profession and a hobby, not a job. A job is just above broke, and that's where they keep you. So if GM, if you need a good CEO, or California, if you need a good governor, you know what I mean? I'm right here. I'm right here because the thing is, like, if I was the CEO of like GM, especially Toyota, Toyotas are bitching. I mean, because I would ask the people, you know, what do you like? See, I already know, but I would, you know, get them involved. What do you like? You know, it's kind of like bringing to things to like state level. You know what I mean? The people vote, and to see if it even goes to Congress, Senate. You know what I mean? It's we the people. It's supposed to be. We'll get into more of that too. So, you know, it's like get everybody involved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say your vote doesn't count, but it doesn't. But never did. Remember, entertainment purposes only. So yeah, I was watching that one video. You know what I mean? It's like, just build a truck, dude. Like all you need is automatic door locks and windows, and you can't have airbags. You shouldn't. And everybody's gonna say, "Oh, but those are bombs." You know what I'm saying? I understand seatbelts. You don't need a ticket for that shit. It's your choice. You want to fly through the windshield? It should be your choice. You know what I mean? Seatbelts or not, whatever. But I don't want airbags. I'm Gen X, man. You know what I'm saying? Our Uber was sitting on handlebars. And I know the garden hose thing, whatever. But yeah, so there's a lot going on, you know. And the thing is, too, is even if they, you know, built a decent truck, you know, some people wouldn't mind paying 80, 90 grand. But why would you pay that much and then your transmission takes a dump in 30,000 miles or even leaving the lot? That's a lot of lawsuits going on right now for these trucks, you know. And my thing is, make trucks great again. It's pretty simple. Life is simple. Life is simple is like taking a bite of a strawberry and then sticking it in some non-poison soil. Thanks, Roundup. And it'll grow a strawberry, you know what I mean? So yeah, dependable truck, man. I bought mine for $31,000. It was on a 7-year, 84-month. It was like $480 a month for 7 years. Which, you know what, man, it's been a good truck. But the automatic fuel management (AFM) cost me to do a cam, lifters. Hey, while you're in there, you might as well do the timing chains. 2 of them. At least they're metal, not freaking rubber. You know, it's crazy what they do, man. They make intake manifolds out of plastic now. It's like, some of them. It's like, what the hell? Like, these people are like, you ever heard of a stupid genius? Well, it's the ones running 209 countries, the ones above them. The puppets. The ones you see on TV are the puppets. It's the puppet masters, you know, that are running things that people don't even care to know. They don't care. And it's called an NPC, non-player character, non-player compliant. You know, though, doesn't, as long as my world's fine. You know, you don't mind being a debt slave. You don't mind, you know, working, paying for other countries, like laundering, you know, your illegal taxpayer dollars. Do you know about 1871? Do you know about 1913? Do you know about 1933? Do you know anything about your name being in capital letters? Do you know anything about birth bonds? Have you ever heard of what they released, the Chevron deference? Have you ever heard of the one, I can spit it out, but long day. The UCC code's 1-103-8. No, 308 oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I have it in my notes, and I know it's and everybody that resonates with me is saying it. Come on.
1-308.
US UCC codes 1-308. Does anybody know anything about that shit? You should probably do some research on it. But it doesn't matter because your life's great, right? You don't mind being a Dutch slave. We're not. God didn't make us to be slaves. He made us to be not debtors. He made us to be creditors. You ever heard of your straw man and your name in capital letters? Have you ever heard of when you're born? It's actually birthday. It's the birth of a ship. It's maritime law, maritime admiralty law. It's not God's common law is what we're going to have. Everything is all roads lead to Rome, right? You ever heard of the British Crown and the Vatican? Do you know what that's all about? Do you know that when the Act of 1871 and the word act, because everything's an act, everybody on TVs are actors, and I mean everybody. Do you know everything in your whole life has been a lie? There's not one thing, and I'm waiting, but there's not one thing that somebody could sit here and say, if I said, tell me something that's not a lie, I challenge you. There's nothing you can tell me that's not. You don't even know the whole love story about the Olympia sister ship to the Titanic. You don't even know nothing about that. You don't even care. And that's why we're in this bullshit, because nobody cares. Well, it's the Great Awakening, so you better wake your asses up and start caring, because, we're lucky to be alive here right now. I'm not going to get into that. That was the whole, who was supposed to be president after Obama. That's a whole thing. God, that would take me about 3 weeks to talk about that. But anyway, since we're alive and we made it, you got to choose which food you eat. Everything's poison, toxic poison, everything. Seed oil is like the worst thing for you. Anything with seed oil. Entertainment purposes only, remember? So it's like, I was saying with the CEO, especially governors. Oh my God! Like a governor, see, your words are spells. You know what a governor is. You know what a governor on a motor is. It's to control. You know what I mean? They could turn it down so you can only do 45 miles an hour or 55. They do it on the trucking companies. Governor. By the way, Governor Newsom, his aunt's Nancy Pelosi, and I can go on who's who. Jimi Hendrix, who, you know what I mean? Who you think alive is dead and who you think is dead is alive, or witness protection program. Our earth is a circuit board, a big one. God said breed, plentiful, whatever it says in the Bible about that. You only got 66 books, by the way. There's a lot more recovered in the Vatican with all the gold and everything they stole. So there's a lot more. I mean, if you don't think so, you just look at Enoch, Nephilim. I might cuss, so if you're a Christian who doesn't like cuss words, just cut out now, because your church is a 501c tax exempt. Because if they start speaking the truth, they'd be cut off or start paying taxes. Fucking religion. It's It's spiritual, man. God's within you. It's actually Father and Mother Earth, Creator, Source, Ether, grounding. It's really simple. Life is really simple than what you've been taught. You know, it's harder to unlearn than it is to learn. Somebody said the other day, people need to be deprogrammed. No, excuse me. I say people need to be deprogrammed. He said people need to be reprogrammed. No. You need to be deprogrammed. Tell live vision. It's a vision, right? TV programming. Remember, your words are spells. Good morning. What do you do at a funeral? You mourn. Good morning. It's called grand rising. What do you do when you go to a funeral? You go to the wake and you wake up. They've done a number to y'all and you don't even know. Some of you do. There's a resonating army out there that know what's up. It's a spiritual high frequency. You know, they use the word high vibe. It's actually frequency. High vibe is matrix. Well, that's another thing. I tell you right now, ascending is beautiful. You can live in the 3D matrix world that we've all been. And you know what? The matrix was fun. Bye-bye, paradigm. The matrix was fun, man. We all had our fun. But now it's time we all grow up. Don't you think? And learn to love one another. You know, people don't know their program, but all the bullshit you see on the Live Vision with Fox and CNN and MSNBC and CNN, oh God, and The View and all that crap. It's all predictive programming. It's all scripted. It's all there to keep us divided, along with the religion. I mean, if you were born in China, all of a sudden you're Buddha. You come out of the womb, and it's like, I'm a Buddha. Okay. Where does that get you? It's my only bad habit left, and I go drinking again.
Smoke
2.5
Buddha.
years. Feels good. Feels so damn good. I just turned 56, man, and I feel like I'm 30, except for a few little complications. But I can't go see a doctor because I want to live. And people tell me you're not a doctor, and I say thank God, because they kill 20 to 30,000 patients a month. And your Christians will tell you meditation, that's wrong. Bullshit. You ever heard of chakra? See, when I said chakra, I got all bright. My words are strong. But I'm here to love everybody and unite and have sympathy and empathy and learn to be a sovereign man on God's land that I inherited from my father, from my creator. Like, we're the only planet, excuse me, we're the only planet that's like pay. You know what I mean? There's other civilizations. I shouldn't even say that, but it was, you know, like Tartaria, they already had 1,000 years of peace. Look into Tartaria, 1,000 years of peace, free energy. You know, Nikolai Tesla, whatever. There was shit way before him. Einstein, he was the stupidest man in the room. How do I know? Entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Come back with me with something. The only reason why they say we're overpopulated and stuff because they cram us into these little fucking cities. Not 15-minute cities. I mean, that's where it was going. Electric cars and 15-minute cities and your real ID. Our life is simple. If we just learn to love one another again and don't judge anybody, life would be so great. I'm experiencing it now. I really am. People can read me. I can read people big time, but people read me, you know. if I see somebody and they walk past me all like, I'm like, wow, you're a beautiful soul. I can read your frequency. And they're like, oh my gosh, how'd you know? And you know, and we talk and stuff. You know, everybody knows we're going through something. It's the shift. It's a shift. If the evil has left the planet, the 6,000-year contract with the devil's done. There's a lot of things people don't know, and there's a lot of things I don't know either, but I like to talk about it because when I talk about it, my frequency's off the roof, you know, and I could share and talk. My frequency is just so beautiful. Like it's oh my God, it's just amazing. I belong to a truth train tribe, 88. We're amazing souls. We really are. It's like almost being telepathic because when you're with those people, and I don't mean like we're not together yet, but it's on Rumble and YouTube. The Roar Room, ROAR, the Roar Room, Mr. and Mrs. Sheepdog. It's a long story, but we've been doing stuff for probably, I'm just gonna say about 8 years, you know. But yeah, it's pretty cool just to share and stuff, you know. And then you look at like teachers, you know. You look at school. What does school do? I've asked every 17 and a half, 18-year-old when they get out of high school and I'm at the graduation party, and I ask them this after they did their speech. So everybody's listening. I say, hey, what'd you learn? And the mom's all, oh, he's going to talk. What did he learn? And I says, I already know the answer. And he goes, yeah. I go, so what'd you learn? Do you know 100% of them say nothing? They were teaching you to do corporate. Your 15-minute break, your 60-minute lunch, maybe 30 minutes, and your 15-minute break, and then you go home. And you don't learn shit. And all your science is bullshit. And your NASA's bullshit lies, all for money laundering, for fake money laundering, when they took us off the gold standard in 1971. Do you ever stop and think? Or do you just live your life? You wake up like a little programmed robot from high school. You know, you don't have a profession. You can't afford or have time for a hobby. It's all done by design. Thankful for me, I do have a profession and a hobby, and it happens to be the same thing. You know, you've had past lives. That's why this life's so easy for me, because I came back to finish this shit. I came back to see this greedy corporation, this regime, this criminal empire take a shit. I wish you'd join me. It just takes more of us to tell them to fuck off. Like I said, everything's simple. You just have to tell them fuck off. Don't buy from Walmart. Don't buy from corporate. You know, it's going to be a little slow roll. We're actually been going through it. You know, I mean, the Rite Aids are starting to shut down, and I'm going to tell you this. Speaking of corporate, anybody who takes their kid to McDonald's is a dipshit. I'm not going to say why. Nah, I can't say it. It's bad. Really bad. Has nothing to do with the Red Shoe Club or nothing. You know, Ronald McDonald. And all that bullshit, Mr. Goodwin. the arch. If you turn it sideways, it's a 3, which is 33 Mason. It's all in your face. It's all in your face. Their symbolism will take them down. I mean, because it's all in your face. Do you know all the movies are pretty much documentaries? You got the Matrix, right? Got the Truman Show. Ooh. Pretty crazy stuff. My air conditioner unit just kicked on, and I hope it's not annoying. But we sleep at the house at 68 degrees with the ceiling fan on high, and that's how it works. Because I have 35 solar panels at $206 a month and a $25 connection fee to Edison, because they jacked up my prices when they changed us to the digital meter, which is fucking toxic. Radiation, it's like riding around on a Tesla, you Tesla people. Have you checked the radiation on your Tesla? Like driving around on radiation, then you wonder why your ass gets the C word. Starts with C and ends with answer, which they killed the guy who cured that shit with apricot seeds. Just like they did the same thing to the guy who made the hydrogen. Sorry, man. I used to have a quiet street behind me. The good old days, huh? Yeah, we made hydrogen. They're doing it now. That's what we need, hydrogen. It's actually anti-gravity was what we were supposed to have. You know what I mean? That's what we've been suppressed with everything. Bunch of lies. I ain't even mad. I ain't even mad. You know why? I just say, just stop it. Stop it already. Like if, for instance, like your water, you know what I mean? Your plastic, your microplastics. Everybody hears about microplastics, you know what I mean? Like, if we just took over the plants, you know, the water plants. The first thing I would do if I was the CEO of a water plant or the CEO of GM, my engines would run right, but the EPA and all that bullshit, it's all bullshit, man. If I was the owner or CEO, but I mean, it's all corporate crap. That's why they did the Constitution. They knew corporate was coming, you know what I mean? It should have stopped at the 13th Amendment. It should have never had the, after that. And the Constitution doesn't need to be rewritten. It needs to be reread. But yeah, water plants, man. If I was the CEO of a water plant, the first thing I would do is take the fluoride and I'd put it on an island, and I take all the fake actors, the politicians, and put them on an island with all the fluoride water they can have, and all the things that too. Fucking, blackmail puppets. And politicians don't even do anything. All politicians do is raise money and launder. And who knows what they do in the stock market, which you've been bought and sold on the stock market with your bond, with your capital letters, with your straw man. You know, when you buy a house or lease or purchase a vehicle or get a student fake ass loan that you can't pay back, there's another thing to keep you suppressed when you go do your job. You know, that when you take that loan out, they take it out of your bond because you've been bought and sold on the stock market like a debt slave. And they pay it. That's what the UCC codes are for. And then you pay it back with interest. And then someone tells me, like, real estate agents and all, they don't know shit either. The cops, they're British London stuff. It's a whole thing. Their policies. Got a bunch of guys in clown suits running around. Policy officers taking money off the table, so for a fucking little stupid ticket because somebody went 2 miles over the speed limit. And cops are going to be taken care of too. Sheriffs have some authority. Good sheriffs do. You know, we sheriffs are good, man. But your clown suit motherfuckers, you could take somebody and put them in a damn uniform, give them training, and call them a cop, police officer, policy officer. You know what I mean? A pavement pirate. It's cool when you know your rights. But the movement we're going through is to take down the criminal empire. And we can do this with peace and love. That's why you don't see a civil war going on, because we don't need that. If we have a civil war, which us smart ones, us wise ones, the ones who are awakened, not woke, know that that's not the answer, and the protesting doesn't work. Most of the protests you see are paid by Soros and whatever, you know, Gates and mainly Soros, which was taken out in 2012 in Africa because genocide. It's like the ouchie Fauci. Yeah, but don't play into the bullshit anymore, man. Use your own discernment. Stand up. And do it calm, you know what I mean? There's no reason to get mad. Like I said, I'm Gen X, man. I ain't mad. I got poisoned all my life, and I didn't even know it. But I'm not mad. Just stop it. You know what I'm saying? But they're not. They're not, because it's evil. It's evil. I could get into the Hollywood actors, and I can go deep. I don't even want to say the word. Young blood. Torture. Yeah, I ain't even mad. I just want to live the rest of my years free. You know, I'm doing it now. I'm done. I'm freed myself, man. I cut that chain years ago. Fuck that shit. Tired of it. Tired of it. Yeah, I don't watch Fox, CNN. They're all owned by the same Vanguard. There's another word like Vanguard and BlackRock. They're all owned by the same people. It's just another division. It's just like red, blue, Senate, Congress, you know, Democrat, Republic. It's just all for division. They're all just like George Carlin said, you know, one big club and you ain't in it. I used to listen to that dude when I was like 9. It's pretty funny stuff. Let's see what else. I could keep going. I want to. Because this is how I take my frequencies high, you know what I mean? With love. It's good to be grown up now, you know what I mean? I finally became a man. And a big part of it was, you know, I drank for 40 years. I never made mistakes. I mean, we all make mistakes. It's not sins as you're taught in your Bible class. A lot of missing books in the Bible. It's not a sin, it's a mistake. You're allowed to fuck up. Nobody's perfect. Sin. Forgive me for your sin. Jesus is going to come save you. Jesus already came down. You already had 1,000 years of peace. You had free energy. You had all that shit. That's why you can't go to certain places. People call it the ice wall, but it's actually the ice shelf. And there's, I think, 2 or 3 of them. You're not allowed to go there, right? I wonder why. You're not allowed to go to certain places of the Grand Canyon either. If you did, you'd have men in black show up and you'd be non-existent anymore. That's where all the relics are, and there's a lot that I forget. But I think a lot started in the Grand Canyon, and then you got all your national parks, and Yosemite, and all that crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Wait till we get to the third realm. Wait till you can ascend to the 5D from the 3D matrix. That's why the fourth dimension is confusing. That's why you're all confused. The fifth dimension is something else. There's no financial system and money and in the fifth dimension. But that's where we're heading. We're just being prepared. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Nobody knows. But we're being prepared because that's like the Lord. And then going back to what I was saying about the water plants and stuff, do you know why they put fluoride in your water? It's not for your teeth. It's not. Stupid. You read what fluoride does to a body. Like, read what aluminum does. Read what mercury does. But people like, oh no, do you want a tetanus shot? Oh sure, I haven't had one in 10 years. You know how many people die from tetanus? None. How many people fucking step on a nail? I don't know, not too many. But when they do, shit, that hurts. I've done it. I didn't die. I didn't get a tetanus shot either because it's mercury and aluminum. And every time you go to the damn doctor for like stitches, or maybe you have a fucking hangnail and you went and saw the doctor 6 times because of your hangnail, you're a fucking pussy. The first thing I ask you want a tetanus shot? And, oh, sure. Haven't had one of those in a while. Well, good. Welcome to mercury and aluminum. Now you wonder why you get dementia and Alzheimer's. That's what that shit does. So yeah, like fluoride. If I put 2 drops of fluoride in somebody's water and somebody called the cops, I'd go to jail. But no, they can pull a big bag of that shit in your fucking water, along with chloramine. Chlorine's fine because in 9 hours it dissipates. Chloramine stays. Chloramine's bad too. So I'll run a power plant, or people who used to run power plants that are retired can go in there and take over and say, hey, you know, we can run this shit. We could do this shit so much better. We can fucking actually build V8s that don't cost $80,000 on a truck with sensors and all that crap. Actually, the V8s are nice, and I'd like a V8. But they actually make a V8 hydrogen truck, has a hydrogen tank on the back. That tank actually came in from Canada, and they had to do an inspection and stuff, and they polished it all up, put it in the back, and it's like a 1957 truck, a step side red bitchin', man. It's a V8, man, and it's pulling more, just as much horsepower like an LS motor, and the air coming out of the exhaust is cleaner than the air you breathe. So we're gonna get hydrogen before we get anti-gravity. People wouldn't even know what to do with anti-gravity. You know what I mean? That's how the flying carpet became. Back in the day, people would have anti-gravity with pallets of wood, and they were getting splinters, so they put a carpet on it. And there's your flying carpet. Like I said, shit's simple. It's pretty cool, like Star Wars and stuff like that. They were showing you in the movies. Everything's a documentary. The Simpsons didn't predict anything. It's scripted, so they show you, and then people think, oh, it's a prediction. No, it's not. They're showing you. They're telling you what they're going to do, the 2030 agenda. Well, that changed. Yeah, the doctors will be done, be holistic. People talk about the med beds and stuff. It's frequency and light. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever heard about those, but that's whatever. We'll see when all that happens. People say, I don't believe it till I see it. Well, you must have saw Jesus because you believe in him, which is our brother. Because our Father, Jesus, is our brother, just like God. I'm trying to spit it out. It's been a long day. 4 hours sleep. at the lake for 10 hours, in the garage for 3 hours. Yeah, so Jesus is God's son, and we're children of God. So we're all, and we're all one. You're all one. Even a tree. They used to like laugh at people like the hippies had it pretty much down. No war, peace, tree huggers. Take your shoes and socks off, get grounded. Forget the word of that one. It's in my notes too, and I can't turn this off. I don't know how to edit or do anything, so I just recording here for about 40 minutes now. I could go on for 6 months, but I don't think I have enough memory in this phone. Which that's another thing too. I went from Verizon because everybody's got to have Verizon. You know what I mean? It's like having the BMW. You know what I'm saying? That piece of shit, Audi piece of shit. They're all shit now. Yeah, I used to have Verizon, and then I went to Spectrum about 3 years ago. Unlimited data, $40. Man, it was great. But now, it's like everything else. It's like you want more data, you gotta pay. And I'm like, hey man, I didn't even go to them and complain. I'm like, whatever. Like, you used up all your data. I'm like, well, when I signed up for your contract, unlimited data, and everything changed. Just like when I was talking about the solar panels that I have, it wasn't bragging or nothing, because that's a whole horseshit story there too. I just got it because they were charging me like $700 a month for 3 months when they put the smart meters in. We were paying for those stupid smart meters. I was paying more money to get radiation and poison and toxin and shit. You know what I mean? Which they almost burned down my damn house because the water got in from the roof down a electrical gray tube and started a little smoke session going on in the attic there, and then the breaker hit, and of course, thank God, nothing happened. But I called them, which was useless because they had filed BK. Now the corporation making millions of dollars and then filing BK, probably LLC or whatever, and make their money. And since if you lease them, then they get the thousands of dollar kickback. And they rip everybody off, tell them it's all under warranty for 20 years, and then you got a problem, and then they say, "Oh no, the panels are under warranty, but you have to contact the company, and then you got to pay somebody to change out the panels. So you don't have, in my opinion, your warranties suck. All warranties suck. Don't ever do a house warranty or extended warranty, and try to see how that goes." So here's the deal. They filed BK. 3 months later, my house almost burns down. This is after 9 years of having them. Got 11 years left. Then they'll be shit by then. And then I just have fucking whatever on my roof. Hopefully we'll have free energy by then. So then I call them up, and I'm only talking to bill collectors now because if they filed BK. So now they hired a company to make sure they collect their freaking money on the shit that they ripped everybody off on. And I tell them, well, I got a problem. Oh, well, then you probably need to get that fixed. And they go, okay. So I paid somebody like $400 to rewire it, right? And then I call them back, and I'm like, yeah, well, you told me I got to have somebody fix my panels. And then they're like, oh, now your warranty's voided because you got... It's like, pay somebody to fix it, but now my warranty's voided because you won't fix it, but I got to hire somebody to fix it. Now I don't have a warranty, but the warranty that I don't have is now void. See how fucked up things are? It's all done by design. I ain't even mad. Because Gen X is going to finish this shit off. My words are strong. Your words are spells. You know that, right? That's why they use the word morning and wake and all that other bullshit. Convince, con. I can go on and on and on. I got so much to say, sometimes I can't spit it out. You know, when I'm in the garage for 3 hours after my little fishing trip, which I did catch some nice bass. I think my biggest one was almost 3 pounds. But it's a fish story, so it was like, 3 pounds. I should have did that video then because I was thinking for 3 hours, what I wanted to say, and something just told me just do a video. You know what I mean? Because I'm just tired of all the crap. Tired of the is real, the fake ass bullshit, all your fake ass wars. Innocent people die for fake corporate greed money. It's all printed. They ain't backed by shit. So people die for fake shit. Innocent people. And the ones who come back, it's like Afghanistan, Vietnam, World War I, World War II, other celestial wars that nobody knows about. But all the other continents, well, that too, there's a lot of continents that we don't know about, but all the other civilizations, see, like your alien ancestors and stuff, Probably going, what the hell did he just say? Your alien ancestors. They went through the same shit we're going through. They can't interfere. They're rooting us on. They're like, come on, guys, wake up. Why do you have to pay for a planet that you inherited? And people think, how do we live without money? Well, that's stupid. I mean, talk around the campfire, they're going to turn the office buildings that are useless into like homeless and help them out. I mean, I just heard we sent 650 million to Is it real to from the Charlie Kirk propaganda thing. No, I'm sure I hit some bells with that one. Speaking of bells, too, I can go about bells, too. That's why I don't have any bells, because it's frequency healing. I forgot where I was at. Pretty trippy stuff. It gets deeper. Real deep. You want me to short circuit you? Do you know you've had not probably, but 8 is like the infinity loop. That's why I'm from the Truth Train Tribe 88. I forget a lot about the 88, but I know it's like a God thing, which I call Father, because God spelled backwards is dog and it's dogma. Just like your pervert Catholic priest who probably sits behind the wall, masturbates while you confess your sins. Your mistakes should be taken up with you and your Creator, because I do believe in God, but I call him Father. He's here. You know the little thing with the devil here and the angel here? Well, that's all conscience. It's all right here. It's all right here. There's no. Oh, I gotta be careful. It's all right here. You know what I mean? Just like the Constitution was written because they knew the corporation was coming. But the Constitution is like right from wrong. And most people have common sense to know what's right and wrong. That's why it's called a mistake, because you know what? You made a mistake. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, you know. But now, during the Great Awakening, there's no reason to lie, and you make less mistakes. I do. I don't want to make mistakes. I'm so faithful to my woman, man. I would not make a mistake to make that mistake, because I love her and I love what I have. And, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do certain things that we were grown up to do, to be brainwashed to do. There's certain things I'm not going to discuss, but there's certain things that I don't do today because it's illegal. It's fraud. It's completely fraud. And one day I'll stop these. Actually, nicotine is good, pretty good for you when it's clean, you know, not bad. And then tobacco is good for you when it's just tobacco, you know. Cocaine's probably good for you too if it's not cut. Kidding. Those were the 80s. You know, some countries sell the Coca-Cola without the corn syrup. I mean, they put the corn syrup in the American Coca-Cola, but in certain countries, you know, with their religion and stuff, they put pure cane sugar. Where do you want to go? You want to go on the other side of the ice wall, which is called the ice shelf. You want to go with the volcanoes that are activated. You want to go with the weather manipulation, HARP, CERN. You want to go there? You want to go with the DEWs, direct energy weapons, like Maui, South Dakota, excuse me, Southern Carolina, South Carolina, yeah, Pacific Palisades, Lahaina. Did I say that? It sucks that most don't know, but you know what? It's okay because a lot of people aren't going to make it through the finishing of this shift right now. You know what I mean? Because there's really only a third of us who are probably human here. You got your hybrids, you got your clones, you got your NPCs. Look up NPC. Just put NPCs in and read. You know, it's simple. Don't ask Chat GPT because this shit's just stupid. AI, I guess, is supposed to only be around for 5 more years, from what I hear. I don't know. I've been waiting 10 years for shit. And starting to see stuff now. You know, but I know it's coming. In my mind, it's already done. But love is the new currency. Dude, people used to barter and trade. I'll never get that in today's society. It's like, you know what I mean? You can only grow so many heads of lettuce. You know, and here's a head of lettuce, and here's some beans, and here's some rice, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I mean, it might be to me, like a fad real quick, and then it's like everybody burnt out. You know what I mean? Like, man. But your body, haven't you guys noticed that you're like eating less? And, you know what I mean? Like me, chicken and steak and shrimp once in a while, man. Like, I just don't crave it. You know, I love hamburgers. I'll do a hamburger. I'll do an In-N-Out, Southern California In-N-Out hamburger, no problem. But they're even corrupt too. It's a corporation. Oh no, they're a Christian. They're a Christian. In-N-Out's Christian owned, and yeah, fuck off. Don't let it fool you. Christians and Catholics, boy, are they gonna get the shock of their life. It's gonna, and some of them might not make it. You know, Trump signed an executive order, which executive orders are not even constitutional for the mentally insane. You know, this is what I learned 10 years ago, or no, 2015 or 2015, 2016, 2018, probably when the Q drop started. And like, what the hell is a Q drop? 11.3 Law War Manual. It took us about, I think, 1 year to go through those. There's like 5,000 of them. And the last one is protect your DNA. See, nobody knows about this shit. I wonder why. Because you might be an NPC. And you might not make it. You have a chance. You do. You got to fast track. You got to learn some shit. So when I was getting back to your 8 lives with the 88 and the loop, this is the last loop. Because all your other lives, when you passed away, your soul, people think it just went to heaven and you floated around like some ghost or some shit, right? You actually, entertainment purposes only. Everything at the Vatican, man. Ugly. So your soul, you know, the sun's a porthole, which some people say the sun's fake, simulation with the moon and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I'm not here to debate or convince. But your soul, you have in the sun, it goes in the front, and then in the back, there's 3 portholes. So you go in and then boom. And then that was the way you got through the firmament, which is in the Bible, the firmament, on the flat earth. That's a whole nother thing there. I mean, if we knew the truth, we wouldn't argue if it's flat or round, right? So we got to argue. It's just division. Just like NASA. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. Everything. So your soul would go through the sun, through the porthole, and then you would download, and then you'd come back through a womb, which is a porthole. A womb is a porthole, and then you'd come back if you chose to. But you would download to source and come back, because that's the only way to get through the firmament is through a porthole or a. If I had some of my team here, they'd help me out on that. A porthole or a
Light.
I'll come back to that. And then your soul would go through the sun, but then it went to the Vatican and they erased your memory, and then you came back. So you have 8 lives that you didn't remember. Maybe sometimes that's why you have some dreams and stuff. And you know, there's little children that said, "Mom, that's my house right there," and they're like, "No, that's in Europe. You don't. We're in the United States." You're like, "No," and they take her to Europe, and the little kid shows them everything. And that's why 3-year-olds are busting out the piano. You know what I mean? They bust out the piano. You're like, what the hell? How's this 3-year-old playing the piano like that? You know? I think I got Mozart and shit. Beethoven. How's a 3-year-old doing that shit? Because he did it before. And that's why they took down all the bells too, man, because it repels reptilians that live underneath the ground, that feed on your fear and your loosh. You ever heard of loosh? Loosh? I did my research because somebody said that word, and I was like, what the hell? Because I'm an intriguing little motherfucker. I want to know everything. I was always that way. And now I'm really that way. What the hell, loosh? So I looked it up. They feed off your loosh and your fear. All roads lead to Rome. Why are we in this mess? Because we were having fun. we were just living our lives. We didn't know. I mean, if we didn't have our memories erased, then we wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? But it's cool. We're here now. Move on. It's going to be bliss. I was going back to the buildings for the homeless with the barter and stuff, you know, and then turn the golf courses into gardens. Have real food, you know, not food that's has chemical toxins or Roundup or, you know what I mean, fertilize. And that's another thing too, you know, like the blood in your veins flow. And that's why a lot of the dams are going to be coming down, because the blood in your veins flow like the rivers and stuff. The only thing that should be able to build a dam is a beaver. And sometimes you even got to take that down. Everything needs to flow. You know, China one time, you know, they had a river. And, you know, like the waterways, they kind of wave. Well, they thought, let's get the water from point A to point B quicker. So let's like dig a big, long, straight, you know, like an aqueduct type thing. No concrete, just dig a, you know, and then we'll cut off that wavy water and we'll send it there real fast. And that water's been running for Lord knows how long. So they did it, and and they ran it, and it all disappeared. They had no more water. And here's another one for you. So these stupid fake ass fucking acting politicians, you know, they say like we got to have a meeting about climate control, carbon footprint. So here's what they do. Each one got in their private jet and used fossil fuel, which ain't fossil fuel. Fossil fuel, dinosaur fucking blood, whatever the hell they lie to you about that shit too. So they each get in their own individual private jet. I heard some planes don't even use jet fuel. It's a lie too, but anyway. So they get in their private jet full of fuel to go to a carbon footprint meeting. And they all land at the airport and they go to the little convention and they all get in Teslas to drive to their little meeting. They're laundering money in the meeting. And they all get in their Teslas and they show up. Well, all the Teslas needed to be charged. So what they do? They couldn't charge them all. So they went and got diesel generators. You see how stupid these people are? It's stupid. It's so stupid, it's funny. Stupid people. God made everything just like I said with the take a bite of a strawberry, put it in the ground, there you got strawberries. There's all kinds of cool things, you know. And also too, you know, you have like they murdered that guy with the cured the C word with the apricot seeds. And then you have seedless grapes, seedless watermelons, seedless lemons. Why? Do you know? I do. Because that's where your vitamins are. I'd rather eat a black watermelon seed to get vitamins than I would a synthetic one a day piece of crap. And anybody who's given their husband Cheerios in the morning think it's lowering his cholesterol and giving him a one a day, and he's off to work thinking, She doesn't love you because she doesn't know shit. She loves you, but she still don't know shit. Your brain needs cholesterol. Your brain's like, I think, if I get the number right, 77. We'll do the number thing later. But I think it's like 77, 66 percent fat. And it needs fat. It needs mono and poly unsaturated fat. That's why some people don't even think, because they're on cholesterol medication from the doctors prescribing, the drug dealers, or big pharma. Those guys should be in jail. It's going to get all worked out. I'm just sharing my thoughts. It's stuff I've learned over 8 to 10 years, you know. So yeah, your stupid cholesterol pills and your Cheerios. Have fun with that. So yeah, they took the seeds out of that shit because that's where your vitamins are. So it's like when you eat a watermelon without seeds, you're just getting pure sugar, because some people say, oh, you can't eat fruit because it's sugar. I'm a diabetic. Well, no, you got everything screwed up. You're all screwed up. And you know how they make seedless? It's antibiotics. Antibiotics take the seeds out. And the thing is too, is if there's holistic stuff and people say, oh, holistic, but you know what? It's true. Holistic is good, man. The big pharma pills have only been around for 100 years. Holistic's been around for thousands. And you know what happens when you take antibiotics? Like a Z-Pack? It causes depression, about 30%. But see, people don't realize that. They don't realize that. They just think, oh shit, what's going on in my life? I'm depressed. But it's actually, you might be depressed because you're suppressed, so you're depressed. But when you take a Z-Pack, it destroys your immune system for a year. And 9 times out of 10, you don't get the Z-Pack. You get the weaker one, because they want to give you the Z-Pack at the they want to make sure you probably get 2. So you get the weak antibiotics. I understand some people need it. Okay, I get it. We're compromised. We need shit, right? Sometimes we need shit. You got to do what you got to do to stay alive, right? So if you do get an antibiotic, make sure you get the fucking Z-Pack, because that's shit that works. Don't get the weaker one, because you're going to go back for the Z-Pack. So now instead of being 30% depressed, you're going to be 60% depressed. And then you're going to be fucking depressed. You don't know why you're depressed. And your immune system's compromised. And then you go to the doctor and you tell him he's depressed. And you get fucking Xanax and shit to fucking antidepressant. So now you're triple fucked. Then you probably get hooked on it. And fucking Xanax is good sometimes, man. It saved my life a few times. My heart was racing. Like I said, you got to do what you got to do. You know, moderation is good. I mean, you're already fucked, right? We're already poisoned and toxic. You know, it's like, but you know, we're learning. We're doing the best we can together. Nothing better than love. And they say at a funeral, as you good morning or wake up, or you at a funeral, like rest in peace. Well, how come we can't live in peace? I do. I live in peace right now. I still got shit in the back of my head, you know, that it's not fear or nothing. It's just, you know, concerns. But it's all good. I don't give a fuck. I do me. Do you? Don't worry about people anymore, man. If you have an Izod shirt or Louis Vuitton purse and shit, it don't make you a better person, man. You're just fucking weak minded, and you got to have something to make yourself feel better. I mean, if you have 25 Louis Vuittons, then you got a problem. 2 coaches and 25 Louis Vuittons, man. You got low self esteem. You need that shit to make you feel good. You know what I mean? Have you noticed too that the girls aren't wearing those fucking thick ass eyelashes anymore? Or that Botox. I saw one of my somebody the other day with Botox. I'm like, oh my god, dude, you look so stupid. You know what that shit does to you too? I mean, you're gonna have complications. You know what I mean? Even boob jobs, like live with what you got. You're only here for a short time, which we're supposed to live a lot longer than we do, but I like small tits, so boob jobs to me don't do nothing. Plus, in that, what happens in 15 years when you have to have that shit removed? You thought your boobs look worse in your mind. You thought your boobs looked bad then. At least they were perky and firm. Now you're all sagging ass, with scars, fake ass eyelashes, fake ass hair, fake ass facade. Be you, man. Like the person they envy, like, oh man, this guy's got this and this guy's got that. Man, he's got a Maserati and he's got a Porsche and all that shit. It's like, that doesn't make him a better person. In the 3D Matrix back in the days, yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, I used to hate it when people say that, though. It's like, I'm not liking this guy because of that shit. In my opinion, he's a fucking egotistical asshole. Porsche or not. The Porsche makes him worse. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, look at me. Whatever. That's just back to basics, man. I'd rather wear hemp tank tops or cotton or the other one. I'll think of that one in a minute. There are people that I know are like, this one, you know. But yeah, hemp would have fixed everything. You could blame DuPont for coming in and screwing all that shit up. Hemp would save our forests. Imagine having hemp and hydrogen vehicle. Everything could be fixed quick. We just got to get rid of the bullshit. All the corporations. What else? When I stop this video, I'm going to think of 300 things. And I'm going to only think that 2 would have been really good if I put those in there. Let's try to think of one more. I mean, there's a lot. If I was doing a live, I could read comments and just elaborate on all kinds of shit. Try me. Learn to love one another again. No one's against you. The TV's at war. We're not at war. Me and you. Society is war against us. It's your politicians and your corporations. They're the ones who started war with us. I mean, if somebody threatened to kill you, what would you do? You'd probably go to the cops. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I would, because we can't handle things in our own manner. So you got to do that, right? But the people that are running this world, I think, might even only be 700 of them, because the rest are just, you know, they're the puppet masters. The rest are just puppets. I mean, Bill Gates told you depopulate from 8 billion to 500 million or some shit. The Georgia Guidestones had in like 7 languages that said that. And that's why that shit went down. I can go on about the 17 cities. I can go on about all the other stuff, but you're seeing a lot going on right now. You know, a lot of confusion, but use your own discernment and sit back, take the 40,000 foot view. Don't let your emotions get control of you. Well, I'd love to say more. Maybe next time. Until then, give somebody a hug, even if it's a tree. And don't forget to do this. Take your shoes and socks off and stand on the ground. And if you want to hug a tree, hug a tree. I do, but I make sure nobody's looking because they'll think I'm a weirdo. Damn, there was one thing I wanted to bring up. Should have said it. I always do that. I always do that. They call me the fish emperor. I want to try to remember this one thing before I stop this video because it was important. Oh, just like Cheerios and your Centrum multi-daily men's vitamin that your wife demands you to have. This will pertain to sunscreen. Anybody who puts sunscreen on their child or someone else is a moron. Sunscreen causes cancer. Do you know sunglasses can cause cancer? And the shit you put on your skin because your skin's the biggest organ. So if you put sunglasses on, you're blocking out something that goes in your eyes with the sun that creates sunscreen. So if you put sunglasses on and sunscreen, you're asking for it. I shouldn't have said the C word, but I did. I don't care. So the thing is, when I take my little tiny 14-foot aluminum boat out and go fishing, I've noticed my eyes are very sensitive, but as I ascend, I don't wear my sunglasses as much. They're not sensitive anymore. So I'll be in the sun with no sunglasses and no sunscreen because your body produces its own sunscreen as long as you're not wearing sunglasses. And I think I'll wrap it up with that. And I love everybody. There's 209 countries, and you all are my brothers and sisters under Father. Forgive and forget and love. Don't get caught up in the bullshit propaganda. That's just a shit show. Good luck on your journey.
And there you have it. Thank you, Judy, for sharing that
Yes,
video.
thank
It
you.
took us a little bit to get it uploaded and
It was
had been able
excellent
to share, but he didn't give up.
and authentic. Just being him. I love it.
So that was a world premiere.
Oh.
That was world premiere. Nice job. Excellent video. Good job. Thank you for sharing your frequency with us, and we will continue sharing that going into tomorrow, which will be today. And a few more hours.
Yes.
So don't forget the links in the description below. You can go to the Telegram chat. We have live morning chats there as well.
10 a.m.
And we share things there.
Eastern Standard Time.
10
Yes.
o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The cheating's a part of our tribe, as he said in the recording there, the True Train tribe. So we are grateful for him to be able to come on and share that and be so open, right, vulnerable, and just being himself. And a lot of people love to hear that. You'd be surprised who you help. But thank you for having the courage to do that. And anything you want to do in the future like that, just let us know.
Yes. Especially now we got it
You
figured
got to
out.
get him a TikTok.
Or you can, he can come on the show.
There you go. Well, we're going to close it out, and we look forward to hearing from everybody in the morning. And we thank you for your support throughout this process. I look forward to hearing everybody in the morning or tomorrow. And that's it. Have a great day. Great
Good
night.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Welcome to the raw room. Truth on the mic. Healing the soul. We rise and ignite. Mind, body, spirit aligned in the flame. Raw room tribe. We roar in our name. Red card in a clan. We fly with the light. Keep them straight at. Keeps our path tight. Mama's wisdom. Roots in the land, we barter, we build with sheepdog's hand. We are the raw room, family and tribe. We speak, we heal, we manifest the vibe. Heaven on earth, we craft and we trade. Truth is our rhythm, love is our blade. Come with your gifts, your voice, your spark. We shine together, we light the dark. This is our temple, our sacred boom. Welcome, beloved, to the roar room.